what happens when you bring together some of Britain's finest artists, writers, content creators, and film directors. You get this. Welcome to GROT TV. Alright everyone, this is GROT TV, GROT Social. For a while now, I have been wanting to put together an old school style fanzine. So the stuff you would see in the 80s and 90s, predominantly off the British music scene, I knew it for, that were predominantly really big on the punk scene. I know there was metal ones out at the time, but I remember the old school style fanzine from the punk scene back in the day. And I thought, well, there must have been film ones of these in the past. And once you start looking around, I think there was a few. There wasn't many, but there was a few. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to bring some friends along to see if they wanted to get involved in something like this? And I reached out, and lo and behold, people were fucking interested. So here we are, GROT. What is GROT? GROT is going to be a quarterly old school printed A5 fanzine, written by people like myself who are into predominantly low budget, no budget genre film, and it doesn't really particularly matter what the genre is. You know what I mean? You've got to get people that are into horror, you've got to get people into sci-fi, you've got to get people that are into Asian films. But what has sort of brought us all together is the love of the underdog kind of film, the film that is low budget, that did go under the radar at the time, but now is predominantly classed as a cult favourite. There's so much to talk about within this genre. Not just about old stuff, but even about new stuff that's happening now with independent film. And I thought, well, if we're going to do something like this, why not bring people on board who are A, into this kind of thing, or B, even making this kind of thing. So here we are, GROT, the fanzine. But then, like my mind does, it plays over time, and thought, do you know what? What if we made a YouTube channel as well, called GROT TV, where the people that are making the content for the fanzine could also make content for a YouTube channel, upload it at will, so there's no one holding the keys to this channel. People can upload what they want when they want under the GROT banner. And I invited a few people and told people what I was going to do. People jumped on board. Brilliant. So then you start thinking, well, could I make this an audio podcast as well? Yes, I can. So there's going to be a thing called GROT Social, where it's going to be a straight up audio platform podcast. It will be going up through Podbean, but I think through Podbean it can get to Spotify and Amazon Music and all the other places. That's one area that I don't know much about, that I'm going to have to do more sort of looking into. But as far as a fanzine goes, and as far as a YouTube channel goes, we've hit the ground running, and I wanted just to bring you a little video to tell you guys what's coming up, what we're going to do. So you may know me from previous channels, Masters of the 80s, the Wigan Cult Film Club. You may have seen me on numerous other YouTube channels over the years, where I've been gracious enough to be asked to go on as guests, watch-alongs, Q&As, all that different kind of stuff. And I've got to know a lot of people over the years doing that. So the people that I sort of gravitated to, I asked them, would they be interested in doing something with this project? And everyone said yeah, which is fantastic. So there's a lot of people that's got involved. So much so to do a roll call, a name call. I've had to sort of write it down. So we've got to start off with artist extraordinaire and brother from another mother, Mr. David Kennedy, my partner in crime at the Wigan Cult Film Club. And then we've got a husband and wife duo also from the Wigan Cult Film Club, Kay and Avon. Kay will be writing for the Fanzine, and Avon is a cameraman. So when we start doing some stuff out and about, which we will start to get out to conventions and start filming things, hopefully Avon's going to be on board to do the camera work for us. We've got also another content creator, YouTube guy, fantastic author. We had him down to one of our nights that we did a couple of months back. It's Mr. Andrew Haunt. Andrew's written some fantastic books. His YouTube channel's great. He delves into the stuff that we're going to be looking at anyway. So Andrew was a big tick for the one of the people that I wanted to drop on board here. Another local guy, a comic book artist, podcast host, is Damien Edwardson. If you don't know Damien hosted a local podcast in the Wigan area that was based around comic book artists, comic books, graphic novels, that kind of thing. Again, not my forte, not my wheelhouse, but these guys know the shit. So getting Damien on board to do some writing for the Fanzine and to get involved with the podcast is going to be brilliant. A guy that we've only sort of got to know probably over the last 6 months maybe is a local independent film director called Gene Dolder. Gene did recently a film called The Blade Cuts Deeper, an 70s, 80s inspired giallo from modern era, fantastic film. And I sent Gene a message saying if he would be interested in doing anything like this, and he was 100% up for it. So you'll be seeing some of Gene's writings within the Fanzine. Obviously, at some point, we'll get Gene on here and on the podcast. Another fantastic writer who I'm so chuffed that jumped on board straight away is Mr. Ian Taylor. Ian is a radio DJ, also prolific writer. For the magazine We Belong Dead, which is a superb publication. And Ian does a lot of writing for those guys. And again, when I reached out to Ian, within 2 days, he got me an article to put in the Fanzine, which would be fantastic. And again, at some point, we will be getting Ian onto the podcast. Another fantastic YouTuber, all-round good guy, local guy as well, is Matthew Cuss. Matthew, you'll know as Pugwall316 if you are a YouTube user. Fantastic channel, a really good eclectic taste. He's made for this kind of stuff that we're going to be looking at and talking about. And again, Matt is going to be kicking around at some conventions that we'll be at too. So we'll get some filming done there, some out and about. So that's great. Another really fantastic local guy, podcaster, YouTuber in his own right, but he's predominantly known for writing in a lot of physical print gaming magazines. He's a local lad, Paul Monaghan. Font of knowledge, massively into his VHS, big into the vintage horror scene. So to have Paul on board, especially when it comes to the writing, because he does this for a living, so it'll give us again that nice edge of quality coming to the Fanzine. And again, last but not least, another Wigan Cult Film Club member. You'll have seen him on this channel, on our channel, multiple times, and a fantastic artist in his own right is Mr. Robert Parkinson. Again, local guy. You'll see Rob popping up on the YouTube channel. He's going to be on a regular slot on here, and all the names I've mentioned are going to bring something to the pot. I think once everybody throws ideas in there, starts to sort of bring content whether that's to the fanzine or this YouTube channel or the podcast or even the other social media areas that we're going to bring into play with this. Everybody's going to bring something to the table, which I think, especially in YouTube land at the moment, is what it's needed. Again, no disrespect to anybody. There's some fantastic channels out there. There's some fantastic podcasts out there. But sometimes when it comes to this stuff and people are doing it on their own, it can get a bit one-trickish. It's just a similar kind of thing, and I didn't want that. I wanted something a little bit different. So I think seeing different faces constantly on this YouTube channel, hearing different voices on the podcast, and then the amount of writing that's going to be done for the fanzine is going to keep it interesting. It's going to keep it fresh. It's going to keep it different. So you've got to have different ideas banded around. You've got to have different kinds of content being displayed all the time. Different thoughts on different things. You know what I mean? It's not going to be focused on any one thing in particular. And then moving forward, going down the line, we'll be bringing guests in, whether that's guest writers, guests on this channel sat at either side of me here, which is a good thing now that we've got the space here in my home cinema to set up a proper podcast and a proper YouTube where everyone can be in the same room on camera at the same time. It makes editing stuff a lot easier. You know what I mean? Me and Dave tried numerous times on the Wigan Cult Film Club channel to do stuff remote, and it's just a big bag of dicks. It just doesn't work properly. So getting people in the room at the same time will help, and it also makes it feel that little bit more personal. You know what I mean? When you've got people around you, it's so much better. And again, I hope going forward with the writings for the fanzine, the content that's going to be coming for the channel and the podcast, offering it out to people, bringing people on board, and then everyone uploading their stuff to one particular place. I hope people find it entertaining and find it fun, and then you'll come back to view more, hopefully. So that's it, guys. That's just a little insight of what we're going to be doing. Content will start popping up on this channel on a regular basis very, very soon. Same with the podcast. Once I get to grips of uploading and editing things for a podcast, that'll start popping up as well as. So please look out for the social media pages as they pop up, because they'll be advertising, obviously, the videos and the podcast as well as. And then hopefully the launch of the fanzine will be the end of October. Everything should be in place by the beginning of October. And then that'll give me a chance to lay it all out, edit it where I need to, then print it out and get it out to everybody. And then we should be rock and rolling in there. If you're a content creator, if you're a writer, if you're a podcaster, reach out to us if you fancy doing something with us. Honestly, this is an open door policy. If you can bring something to the table and you want to add something to what we're doing, by all means, please contact us. Find us on here. Find us on the YouTube channel. Find us on the podcast. Find us in the social medias. You know what I mean? Reach out to us. I'll drop the email address down below if anyone wants to do it old school wise and send me an email. You can reach us there. But please don't be frightened of reaching out. If you want to write an article for the fanzine, you are more than welcome to write an article for the fanzine. If you want to make some content for the podcast, please make some content for the podcast. If you want to come and sit here in one of these nice comfy wingback chairs with me and chat shit about anything that's in my collection, anything that's in your collection, or anything that you've watched recently, come down, chat, we'll talk shit. We can drink coffee. We can drink wine. We can do whatever we want. Please come back to another episode of GROT TV.